studio. It is the RAHL Air Hockey Podcast.
Hello everyone, it's Bill Cole here with Maurice Williams, and this is the RHL Radio Broadcast Episode 1. We just had a mega tournament on July 6th, I believe. Maurice, hello, welcome back.
Hello, it's good to join in my studio remote. Glad to be back. What a crazy series of events we saw in this tournament, but also a tournament a decade in the making.
Indeed, it's probably been more than 10 years at least since we did our last tournament, and how this one kind of began was almost random, it seems.
Yeah, well, it's been, according to the archives here, it's been the RAHL archives, it's been at least 11, 12 years since we did anything with air hockey related. So, it's been a long time. A lot of things have happened. And yeah, this one was, we wanted to, I think people were talking about it, the rumblings, they started, and then it was kind of like, hey, let's see if we can get some people together, maybe get, 4 teams together, kind of see what we could do. And then, you see it exploded, and we showed up, and now I feel like we got something to prove that it's back. So yeah, that's it.
Indeed, it was a huge explosion of teams, and it almost came out of nowhere because going into this first open point tournament, there was going to be 2 teams, and it jumped into 8, and it gave us our first full tournament with a best-of-3 series all the way to the finals there. And new faces, new teams, whole new skill sets to comb through as we resurge back into what we used to be. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was very crazy. Like you said, they were prepping us for the matches that were coming up, and it was 4 teams, and then then 5, and then 6, and then 8. So it let us do something that we wanted to do, which was have the it was random here, draw, and that was something that we were wanting to do there. It was exciting, so we were able to do that and have a really exciting action-packed tournament. Only one game 3, but it really was a lot of interesting games.
Oh, interesting games for sure, Maurice. We've been gone so long, and we've all done different things, and my acting career died out, a couple of years after the RHL, but I guess we should probably reintroduce ourselves. I'm Bill Cole, and air hockey enthusiast, a commentator for a very long time, and we got Maurice Williams, who's been by my side ever since season 3.
Yes, and Bill, I'll say, you forgot, you're also part of the all-time goals list, high ranking, as am I. Listen, that's my, letting everybody know what's going on here, that the RAHL is back. But so that the
Was that the nuclear launch codes there?
Maurice? Yes, that is what that was. But we're both on the all-time list, and I love Bill Cole's album. I do still listen to it
for the love of the game. If you haven't seen it,
I do still listen to the album pretty frequently. But also too, Bill, I spent all this time searching around the world for the best air hockey players to fill the void that the RAHL left inside my soul, and I couldn't find anybody. So I just came back, and everybody was ready to play again by the time I got back. I went around lots of places, looked at lots of air hockey, and wasn't really impressed. So I came back and just the RAHL is the all time. So I came back and was very glad that all this worked out the way that it did, and here we are. We're back again, and I hope that everybody's listening. I don't know if people know what MySpace is, but that's where we used to reside. But I think now it's very, very good that we're part of this new technological age, and you can see us calling some air hockey games.
Indeed, and in case you're not familiar with the Roxy Air Hockey League, we are a 2-on-2 air hockey style game where the person that starts the game on the first point will finish it at the end there. Once they get scored, once you get scored on, you change players, and you alternate until the other team gets to 7, and that's how we've done it. And we also have some things like you can put your paddle on top of the puck, and we usually play with a best of 3 in our playoffs. But now that we're doing a tournament layout for all these games or all these tournaments going forward, it's going to be more of a best of 3 all the way through.
And yes, and that's going to make for some suspenseful series. You're staying alive every time you step up to the table. You're trying to stay alive, and that's a big deal. But you're also right. This is very unique. We've got a lot of things that maybe you won't see anywhere else. Tag team style, if you will. Everybody finding a partner that complements you, and trying to win the McGee Cup.
Indeed, and also we've had the craziest amount of personalities, bombastic and reserved all the way throughout our history, and we'll hope to talk more about them later on in the show. But for now, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back with some game rundowns, highlights from the tournament, and we'll go over each game with you as we roll on through our first episode in God knows how long. I'm Bill Cole with Maurice. We'll see you back here soon.
Yes.
Out now on Steam is a retro-inspired hockey game made by our very own Jordan Cross. It's Light the Lamp Hockey. This 3-on-3 arcade hockey game features all the nuances of hockey, yet simple to play and fun for all ages. Now you can add any team with mod mode and start the league you have always dreamed about. Light the Lamp Hockey, only on PC through Steam and itch.io Marketplace. The Roxy Movie Theater in Dixon, Tennessee is the official sponsor of the Roxy Air Hockey League. Great service and the best popcorn you'll ever have. Don't miss our $5 Tuesdays and get caught up on the backlog of movies that you have been waiting to see. 8 screens and a spectacular open lobby. Oh, and may I say, a fine air hockey table? 646 Highway 46 South in Dixon, Tennessee. See you at the movies. Want to become a sponsor for the Roxy Air Hockey League? Well, shoot us a message at our Facebook or Instagram pages. Hear about your business on the broadcast of each tournament, and of course on this very podcast that follows the broadcast around 2 weeks' time. Great exposure for your business, and of course helps the Roxy Air Hockey League become what it strives to be. And welcome back to our first episode here at the Roxy Radio Studio. I'm Bill Cole with Maurice Williams. Maurice, we had a crazy tournament, our open point tournament, the first of 6 in this March through the season 24/25 season. And let's start off with that first round here. We got Distractors versus Hop. Let's see. Let's introduce who these players are and what happened here.
Yeah. So this was this. I remember in the booth when this game was going down. It was very exciting. We were back. The sound of the quarters going into the table, and just the table starting up just like it was, just like it was 2008, Bill. It was the wildest thing I've ever seen. So anyway, and then what happened from there? I mean,
Wow.
is that Ashley Smithson just laid waste to
Absolutely.
Aubrey Patterson and Ella Harper. I mean, they look. It was veterans, rookies. They didn't know. My only guess is they didn't know what was about to happen. Uh, we could go over the all-time goals list, and you don't have to go down very far to see Ashley Smithson's name on the list. And so that first game went very quickly at 7-0. And I mean, it might have been maybe 3 minutes, but Bill, the girls rebounded a little bit. They got themselves on the all-time goals list. This next game, Cassie Tucker got 6 of the 7 goals there for distractors. But Ella Harper, Aubrey Patterson getting a goal apiece. Congratulations, getting on the list. And, that's a tough first game series to have to go up against those individuals. One of the few teams that have beaten Keoken in the playoffs. So, they do not mess around, and they made quick work of Hop. But it was still a fun series to watch, and we were back immediately.
Indeed.
Straight away.
I almost felt a lump in my throat as I was calling the first couple of volleys. I was like, it's just so surreal because we haven't done this in so long, and it was great to see Cassie and Ashley back in action. It was almost like it was like riding a bike again. So
Yeah, it was something else.
But even more interesting is we had new people who've never even seen a RAHL game in their life dive in there and get a couple points. And not only that, they said they might be coming back for the next game.
Well, we hope so. I mean, they played great. It was nothing to be ashamed of, obviously, getting in there and putting your knuckles on the line anytime is going to be, is very good. So I hope they come back. I hope they can move up the goals list a little bit, past some folks, and maybe get a series win or two in there as well.
Indeed, and that would be our first series there. Distractors versus Hop. Distractors sweep them 2-0 to move on to round 2. And next up, we have Neon Dragons, I believe. Yeah, Neon Dragons versus Crisscross, and now this one was interesting for sure. With how this one unfolded.
Well, the first game, Bill, was interesting. We had an issue that basically, and look, and Bill, this kind of goes to people that are new to the sport, to the way that we play. Only having one person is a DQ. You can't, you got to have 2 people at the table. We've seen over the course of the seasons that we've expanded the rosters to have more than one teammate to help make that happen. But there was just a situation, and despite Emily Cross making her RAHL debut and scoring 7 goals and beating Neon Dragons 7-5, they had to forfeit that game. So Neon Dragons get the game, and I think and P.S. despite they lose 7-5, Zeke Hutton, John Smith, no H, got in there, and Zeke scoring 4 goals and John scoring a goal to get on the all-time goals list, which was great, a great debut, and really that must have fueled them in the next game because in between games, 1 minute break, free agency strikes, and we get Dawson and Emily Cross striking a deal together to join up.
Right.
And Emily Cross getting 2 goals, but John Smith getting 5, and Zeke Hutton getting 2 to advance 2-0 and sweep Crisscross out of the first tournament.
Indeed, it was certainly an almost unprecedented situation as we've had teams go with one person and both teams are fine with it. But this time, since it was in a tournament situation and we've never had a person leave the playing area in the middle of a game, and as soon as Emily put in that goal that was supposed to be her teammates, that's what caused the forfeit immediately. So it was an unprecedented situation. It's unfortunate for Emily, but props to her for hanging in there and getting some goals there.
Well, and we'll probably talk about this later on down the road, but still pick up a point for being here, and that's gonna collect up over the next however many weeks. Free agency roster moves can be made, and that team can continue on. So it's not the end; it's just a bad luck moment, and some experience was had and gained, and some goals were scored, and so move on, get on the list, move up the list, and carry on and be ready for the next one.
Alrighty, and with that, we'll move on to our next series. It's Kaoken versus Cracker.
Well, Kaoken, similar situation maybe to Distractors and Hop. I don't think Crackers maybe were ready at this point, but at this point they had maybe seen a few games, so they knew what was coming. But Greg Hunt, game one, Jordan gets a goal. I believe Jordan Jordan tags out, and Greg Hunt goes on a rampage and scores 6 straight goals to extend his lead in the first place all-time list. I definitely think he people were not maybe ready to see maybe what was going to happen, and they saw very quickly 7-1. Next game, and real quick, John Bybee and Caden Tanner here for Crackers. I don't know, both rookies, both first times on the air hockey table, lining up in a best of 3 or ever in a RAHL situation. So welcome, and an unfortunate draw for sure, considering that Kaoken 4-time champions with Greg Hunt. So game 2. Caden manages to get 2 goals, but we see Greg Hunt get the bulk at 4, and Jordan Cross getting 3 to take that series 2-0, 7-1, 7-2. Pretty decisive wins.
Indeed, that's the rookies going against Kaoken longtime veterans, dynamic duo there, Jordan Cross and Greg Hunt, and it hopefully we'll be seeing the Crackers again in the next tournament, and maybe they'll be battling some other rookie teams, and hopefully they'll be moving on.
Indeed, yeah, for sure.
And so that brings us to our next game, which is Death Kwon Do versus Team Jack.
Yes. So this was the last quarterfinal matchup. Death Kwon Do with a rookie with Mason Langford, obviously the brother of Matt Langford, 2-time champion of the RHL. So obviously this was going to be much anticipated. Team Jack, that's made up of Michaela Cross, who's played on a few teams before, a few squads, with her brother Benjamin. John Peters, rookie this season as well. First time in the league, teaming up for Team Jack. First game, Team Jack really gave it to Death Kwon Do. It was a 7-6, with Peters taking the lion's share of the goals for Team Jack with 5. Michaela Cross getting on the board with 1, and Mason Langford scoring 4 goals in his debut, and Matt Langford getting three goals there. And then we moved on to game 2, where we saw Death Kwon Do open a really big lead. I believe it was either 4-1 or 5-1. Matt Langford 5 goals. Mason Langford with 2 goals. John Peters takes all 4 goals there, 7-4, and Death Kwon Do moves on to the semifinals, 2-0 there.
What a performance there by Team Jack to battle like they did. It's almost like they sort of got into the flow of things very early. I liked how John looked there, and especially liked how Death Kwon Do with Mason starting to find his way through the air hockey scene there. So it's very interesting to see how this all starts to click for new players.
Yeah, well, and this was an interesting series too. If you remember, the air hockey puck broke, and we had to go to a backup, and so this was a very we had the air hockey puck break. We went to luckily we had a backup puck. We went to that, and so that was just something different. But yeah, touch on that point there. John Peters and Mason Langford both looked really good as rookies. Anytime a rookie can get out there and score 3 or 4 goals in the game, that's going to be good for the team. So they looked good.
Absolutely, what a great series that was. Even though Death Kwon Do swept them, it was a very interesting couple of volleys there. I remember seeing some of them go very long, and then we started to see Death Kwon Do pull away there. But it was very awesome. So with that, we're going into the semifinal rounds. We have Distractors versus Kaoken. What a familiar matchup this one is, Maurice.
It was. I'm telling you, Bill. It's very weird how you leave somewhere for, a decade and or more and come back and the same things happen. Semifinals, season 3, we saw the Distractors upset Kaoken like you would not believe. One of the biggest upsets of all time in the history.
Absolutely.
In the history of this league. So, to see them facing off against each other, it definitely was a surreal moment. You wonder, hey, how is this still happening? I can't believe it's happening, but it was right in front of my eyes.
Indeed, it was so. Again, we haven't seen this in over 10 years, and here we are, everyone looking at each other, and they didn't leave anything off the table for sure. They just battled, and I believe we had our first GP situation. Is that correct?
I think so, because they had the first game 7-6, and like you said, Bill, these are teams that have been playing each other since season 1. So the very beginning of this league, before McGee Cup era, before any of that stuff, these were people that were playing when the league was, very, very much just Roxy air hockey, in the sense that it was just Roxy. So incredible that this rivalry, it's probably one of the biggest sustained rivalries. Kaoken's maybe had a little bit of different faces every now and then when they face off, but Distractors staying the same, and Greg Hunt staying the same over on Kaoken's side. The Distractors are always going to give Kaoken a run for their money, and like we said, we saw Cassie Tucker get 5 goals. Ashley Smithson gets a goal. Jordan Cross gets 4. Greg Hunt gets 3. So you look at Greg getting 3 goals there in that game, and you think, that defense was bad. It was good for the Distractors. And then you go to game 2, it's 7-5. I remember it was 6-5, and the Distractors just could not get that 6-6 GP situation that really puts everybody on edge. Kathy Tucker with 4 goals, Ashley Smithson with a goal, and Greg Hunt really 6 goals, and Jordan Cross with a goal to really cement that spot into the championship or to the finals.
Cassie Tucker had 9 goals through those 2 games there, and really just started coming into form there, as well as Greg with the 6 goals there in game 2, thus cementing the victory with Kaoken there, advancing to the final.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, it's crazy to think that Cassie could get 9 goals and or in that one series, and they would still lose the series, but it was a close one. And I know that it made everybody, especially Kaoken, nervous.
Oh, indeed. I remember Jordan Cross saying something to Greg when he went off the table. He's like, "Don't you put me in that GP situation again. I don't know if I can take it anymore."
Well, you look back at the season 3, the promo video with Jordan Cross with his head. After that defeat against Distractors in the playoffs, it was just It was
One of
it
the
was
one of the more iconic moments for sure.
very much an iconic RAHL moment. There's no
Mm-hmm.
doubt about that.
So we move on to the second semifinal round, a matchup between Death Kwon Do and Neon Dragons and Maurice. What a battle this was!
Yeah, the rookie team had came up, and obviously, well, this was a very interesting series and a very interesting game. Game one, especially because we got three rookies on the table and Matt Langford for Death Kwon Do. The first game, game one, the rookies for Neon Dragons really showed out. John No H Smith, 3 goals, and Zeke, Zeke Hutton, yeah, just playing, very passionate about it. One of my favorite new characters for this league, no doubt. He was very passionate about the game. He got 4 goals after the game. He's fist pumping. He's excited. And that was a big moment there for Death Kwon Do. Matt Langford only getting 1 goal. Mason Langford carrying that team in a 7-5 loss with 4 goals. Then you move on to game 2. This is a must-win for Death Kwon Do. The backs are against the wall here, and Matt Langford getting 4 goals, Mason Langford getting 3 goals, and John and Zeke both getting a goal apiece for a big 7-2 win. And that was a huge momentum shift, and really game 3 defining moment. Matt Langford 7 goals in that game. John Smith 2 goals, Zeke with a goal, and Death Kwon Do death strikes Neon Dragons 7-3. But Matt Langford really showing you where the experience comes in there, and really just suffocating Neon Dragons there for the win to set up a Death Kwon Do Kaioken final, which unbelievable.
All the props to the world for Matt Langford with that 7-goal push and defeating the Neon Dragons. That was really the first moment in the whole tournament where everyone was like, I don't really know what's going to happen. And it was interesting to see what happens with the pressure put on Death Kwon Do, and Matt Langford just showed it out there and defeated the Neon Dragons, which brings us to that final, as you said just a few seconds ago, Death Kwon Do versus Kaioken. Now this was a war. Could have went either way.
Yeah. Look, I'm just a quick Maurice Williams checking with the stat man. Greg Hunt, Jordan Cross, Matt Langford, top 3 goal. In those top 3 spots in goal scoring, over 1,100 goals between the 3 of them. And you put Mason Langford in there as well, as a rookie who's had a very, very good start, and that was going to make for an explosive championship final series, and that's what we got. That's what we got, Bill.
Indeed, with game 1 we had Death Kwon Do and Kaioken there. It was Mason Langford with 2 goals, I believe. Is that correct there?
That is correct. Mason Langford there, 2 goals. Matt Langford with 5 to open that up.
Right, and Jordan Cross with 4, and Greg Hunt with 2, and it was a war on the table between Mason and Jordan, I believe. They were really going at it there. And Death Kwon Do taking it 7-6, which leads us to game 2, where it was a kind of a similar situation.
Yeah, actually, it was the exact. It was very close to the same situation. Yeah, Matt Langford getting 5 goals, Mason Langford getting 2 goals, answering the call when he needs to answer the call, and Jordan and Greg both splitting 3s, and it's another 7-6 win. I mean, that's the only other thing you can ask for is a 3-game series there. But I mean,
Absolutely.
Pushing it to the brink every game in this final was pushed to the brink. They had both games. That's about as close as they can get. And, Bill, how can we forget the ending to game 2? Maurice almost forgot the ending of the second game, 6-6 on the table.
Greg Hunt.
Matt Langford, Greg Hunt, no air, 10 minutes, out, done, no air. We got to finish this thing up. One shot, Matt Langford scores, game. What a crazy, crazy ending to the beginning of this RAHL resurgence.
Absolutely madness, because we all stared at each other. I remember Neon Dragons was in the booth, and they were yelling, "Nowhere! Nowhere! Shootout!"
Yeah,
And
that
they've
was
never
definitely-
seen anything like it. So, and
It was
especially in a
definitely-
final.
It was definitely, yeah. I mean, you listen to them. I, as a broadcaster myself, I thought they did a great job in the booth. But you listen to the excitement and the voices and the people in the crowd. They hadn't seen it. They were excited about this. Now we've obviously in the RAHL time we've seen this before. This has been a thing that
Indeed.
we've seen before, obviously once or twice maybe, but not very many times. Certainly, I don't believe with as much on the line here, Bill. But they made it happen. Death Kwon Do, Mason Langford, in a big situation. He just earned himself a lot of XP that this tournament, and I think he's going to be. Look, you go head to head with Greg Hunt, and you keep your fingers, and I think at this point, you're able to hang with anybody in the league. So we'll see what happens as we move on.
Indeed, Mason Langford, wonderful performance, and of course, like you said there, Maurice, with the 6-6 GP no air shootout, Greg Hunt and Matt Langford trying to get it to game 3. Came up short, and that has to be something they talked about later, was the no air and how that just messed with all the momentum they had and the focus. But that's just how it is with the RAHL. Sometimes you just don't ever know what to expect. And what a wonderful tournament we had. What a even more interesting finish. And we got our first champion with Death Kwon Do winning that series 2-0.
Yeah, so they definitely are. I know they were glad to win that one, and obviously now they want to defend that title, and see what happens in the next go round.
Indeed, thank you for that, Maurice. And we'll take a short break here, and then we'll go over the upcoming tournament, Open Point Tournament 2. Thank you for listening in here on the RAHL Radio episode here, and we'll be back with you shortly. Pre-orders are out now for the brand new Roxy Air Hockey League shirts designed by our very own Emily Cross. A fantastic galaxy neon sign look that will catch the heads of all the people that you know. $15 that all proceeds go to improving the RHL broadcast. Check out our posts on Facebook or Instagram and send us a message if you are interested. $15 plus shipping for non-tournament goers. Get in the game with our official RHL shirts for this tournament season. And we're back. Bill Cole here with Maurice Williams. We're going to talk post-tournament stuff here. We got the top 5 goal scorers after Open Point Tournament 1.
Yeah, I got your list right here. So let's run it down here real quick if you if you like here.
Yep, we got in first place Matt Langford with 29. In second place Greg Hunt 24. 3 Mason Langford with 18. 4 Jordan Cross with 16 goals, and rounding out the top 5 is Cassie Tucker with 15 goals. That's your top 5 goal scorers after the Open Point Tournament 1.
Yes. Very nice.
So we'll look into the team point leaders. This is the points that the teams accumulate for advancing in the tournament and, of course, being there. Let's go to where that is there. Yes, the team points currently after Open Point Tournament 1. We got Death Kwon Do with 4 points, Kaokin with 3, Neon Dragons 2, Distractors 2, Team Jack 1, Hop 1, Cracker 1, and Crisscross, pending a name change, with 1. It's 3 points to qualify for the McGee Cup playoff, which will be decided after 6 events, and stay tuned for all the information regarding that. As it is to be determined, it seems. So.
Yes, very excited to see things in the works. Like you said, with the teams getting some points, building towards that is a big deal. So that'll be exciting news when we hear more about it, and hopefully we can get some more exciting news with regards to the next tournament here.
Absolutely. But first, Maurice, do you have a Player of the Tournament with Maurice Williams, Player of the Tournament feature here on the RHL radio show?
Yes, I do, and I was doing some thinking about it. And look, I think it's very easy to look at numbers and stats and say, okay, Matt Langford, at 29 goals, comes back. But the unique part about this style of air hockey that we play is that you've got to have a balanced team with people that can play defense, they can play offense. They don't have to score all the time, but they can score 2 or 3 goals when they're needed, and they don't need the bulk. Maybe sometimes 2. You can, they do take over a game. They are able to, be the one to carry the team when the other guy's down. But Mason Langford coming out here, getting 18 goals, 3rd in the tournament, scoring the big goals when he needs to score the big goals, but also not letting the big goals get scored against him. You watch him against Greg Hunt. You watch him against Jordan Cross. You watch him in some of the earlier games too, when he's playing John Peters, when he's playing Zeke and John No H. Smith. You're just able to see that they are able to not let the other team score, and that defense really makes a difference. And I think it made a difference in the tournament there for Matt Langford. He was able to help out, give him some advice on some of these people that he's seen before, which was good. And I think that I think he deserves it. He really had a big showing. He moved up the all-time goals list a substantial way. If he has another showing like that, he's going to start passing some people that we talk about sometimes, Bill, that you and I talk about in our old stories when we reminisce.
Indeed.
And talk about, the old days. He's only been playing 2 weeks. So we'll just see what happens here and see what shakes out. But that's going to be my player of this tournament,
Thank you, Maurice. That was Maurice Williams, Player of the Tournament, Mason Langford of Team Death Kwon Do. Brilliant player. I can't wait to see what the future holds for this young player on this RHL universe.
Definitely.
For sure, the Open Point Tournament was a great success. 8 teams all vying for that championship position with our first tournament, and I will say the second tournament coming up, Open Point Tournament 2, on August 3rd, 8 p.m., this one is looking like it's going to be one of the biggest tournaments of all time with proposed 16 teams, Maurice.
My goodness, Bill. 16 teams. If there's 16 teams, we're going to have to make this maybe a post. I don't know. We'll be working well into the night with 16 teams. But you know what? I'm willing to do it. I'm excited about it. Unbelievable. It's the Resurgence Era, and we needed that, and I'm very excited.
Indeed, we're all happy to have RHL back in our lives after 10 years off.
We just need the grill marks, Bill.
Oh, yes, we do. We do need some grill marks.
Yes.
There's some great buffalo chicken sandwiches. For sure.
I just need a grilled turkey sub.
Oh my
at 3
God, I
o'clock
forgot
in the morning.
about that. Oh my goodness.
Grill me up a grill marks.
Grill
Signing the Subway
Chicken
sandwiches,
grill
Bill.
monks. Give me
Uh,
the grill monks, baby.
Those were good, very good days, very good times, very interesting games. Now we've got some more interesting games coming up, so I look forward to that.
Breaking news there, Maurice. We have a new team. I believe that came over the handle like an hour before we went on. It was the new team by the name of Puck World Order. What is this team? We got the message earlier today. Let's see. We got the names. Do you want to hear the names of
Yes,
these two new players that we'll be seeing on the RHL table on August 3rd? An open point tournament.
Individuals.
Well,
absolutely.
Put on the seatbelt here, Maurice.
All right.
Are you strapped in?
Clicked in.
The first player, Slapshot Scott.
Okay.
And his opponent, I mean his partner. I went to wrestling mode for a second there, Maurice.
Yes.
Reese Howitzer.
Very interesting.
Does this mean that they may have the hardest shots in the whole RHL?
It's definitely what it sounds like, Bill. I guess we can see what happens, come that next tournament. 16 teams would be, I know we're going to have some information for all these tournaments. We're going to have to put out a newspaper for the 16 team stats and all the information that's going to be in that. But you know what? I'm very excited. I can't wait. Honestly, I can't wait to see these guys. I want to see how they fare against everybody. I want to see how they stack up, and we'll be excited to see them.
I am absolutely thrilled to see new faces and
every day they're coming.
Yeah, and hopefully we have the 16 team turnout and we have one of the best RHL tournament nights we've ever seen.
Yes.
So we'll be wrapping it up here. The game is the Open Point tournament is set for August 3rd at 8 p.m. The Open Point Tournament 2 live on Instagram. The rebroadcast set for midweek on YouTube. The handle at the Roxy AHL. This may be the biggest tournament in RHL history. Who will show up? Will it be Ben Cross? Will it be Ethan Cross? Will it be someone that we haven't seen in God knows how long?
Boy, that would be good, Bill. That would be something.
Wouldn't that be something, Maurice Williams? I'm Bill Cole. With me, Maurice Williams. Thank you, Maurice, for devoting your time for this show. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, Bill, thank you.
And will Big Willie be calling? I don't know.
Oh, man, if we can... Big Willie, if you're out there, we're back.
Big Willie.
Please call us next week.
Maybe even Scott
we want to
Cross.
get in touch. Maybe. But I would definitely love to hear from him. I definitely would think about him when I was out looking for air hockey players. I was thinking, does Big Willie... Would Big Willie like these guys? What would he think of the style?
Oh, he would have so many questions about the tiebreakers and things like that. So we miss you, Big Willie. And if you're out there and you're alive, more importantly, and happy, of course, we want to know about that too. But if you could give us a call in the next RHL Radio podcast, that'd be great. And again, Bill Cole, Maurice Williams. We'll see you on the next one, right after the Open Point Tournament 2. Goodbye for now.